Hello, beautiful souls. I'm here today on this day of summer solstice in North America. I think it may be tomorrow in Europe. And thought I would bring through the Elohim today. And also I'm going to follow it with some light language and a solstice song. It's interesting how messages can come to us, and something came to me today from a book that I was reading, and I hadn't picked it up for a while, and it was so interesting what I read. And just as I finished this one section of the book, the phone rang, and I knew in that moment it was because the message that I had just read from this book was meant to sit with me, and it was about sound and about this young man who sang a song to a woman, a song that he was just making up in the moment. They were both young, and it awakened something within her. And first of all, this sound that was very earthy and almost sounded like a wild animal came out of her, and then she softened, and the song became this beautiful gift and opened the hearts of everyone who was present. And I finished reading that, and then the phone rang to pause, and it felt like a very significant message for me to receive. And this is how life talks to us when we're paying attention. That's why it's so special to really be in the moment, really be in the now when we're doing anything, and just see what life wants to offer us. And so I'm going to follow this channeling from the Elohim with some light language today. And it just came to me after reading that it will be like a song for the solstice, to bring in this beautiful solstice energy. And of course, there's an eclipse following right behind. So it is a powerful time. Things continue to shift and change for us, and the frequency continues to elevate. And I know I've received that really with these eclipses in this season of 2020, it's really opening up us into all that we are. It's like a huge gateway is opened, and if we're ready and willing, we can choose to walk through it. We can choose. What this gateway represents is us becoming the absolute fullness of who we are, no longer allowing limitations to hold us back. And I know I'm working through this all the time for myself, these limitations of thinking small or being humble in a way that is out of alignment with the truth. And it's an invitation for all of us. And so I feel that the Elohim will probably address this for us to really take advantage of this time and really be willing to feel safe and know that it's okay to be our magnificence. We've been persecuted so many times in the past when we've stepped into our fullness, or when we've expressed truthfully our beliefs and where we come from. And that energy can stay in our field and keep us from moving forward into all that we are. There's my little owl walking stick in the background, the wise owl behind me. And so it's time for us to know that we're safe now. We still probably need to use discernment, but we are safe stepping into our brilliance. So here we go. I'll bring through the Elohim and then a solstice song as light language that wants to follow. And so it is, beloved beings of the earth. Indeed, you're in times of magnificent change, times unprecedented upon this planet, times when the dark and the light, as duality is coming to an end and you are moving back into a state of oneness, back into a state of wholeness, is not the dark and the light showing itself in extreme division. Because that is how you come back together as one. You come head on with the divide, which is the duality, which is good and bad, dark and light, right and wrong, you and me. All of this comes to a head and runs into each other, so that from that, it's like an explosion that happens when two atoms collide, and then they create something different and unique in that collision. It is very much like what is happening at this time, that the extremes are now running into each other so that they can each be destroyed, not destroyed so much as transformed into creating this new beginning that is your potential, that is inevitable on your earth at this time, for all who are ready to walk into the new vibration, the new frequency, for all who are ready to step into this ascension of coming into a new state of consciousness. And we want you to know, from our perspective, ascension is not you fly off with wings and leave the planet. It's a matter of a different state of a different state of consciousness, an elevated state of consciousness, which brings you into that oneness, because you fall away from the frequency of division, from the frequency of duality, and you move back into the oneness, preparing to move even higher and higher in the dimensional frequencies, coming back closer, ever closer to the source that is within you. So it begins by coming back to understanding that source is within you and within each one, and together you are a part of that whole. And so as you see these activities playing out upon your earth, know that this is part of coming back into this unity consciousness. And we say to you, beloveds, it has not happened just this way before. There is something so magnificent. And with these eclipses, it is such an opportunity for you to take advantage of these higher frequencies and be in the flow as life pushes you to shift and change and evolve. All you have to do really is be in the flow of it and trust that whatever comes through you, whatever is up for you in your day, that you allow it to be. You don't judge it or allow the mind to try to figure out if that's the way it should be. When you come to a state of being able to be in the flow of life, you trust whatever is wanting to flow through you in the moment. Sometimes it can mean being very different than who you were yesterday. And beloveds, we would say to you, how are you going to grow and evolve if you won't allow yourself to be different than who you were yesterday? So many of you suppress the awakening because you think that you should be who you were before. You think that you have to meet these societal norms, these social norms that surround you. You think that you have to play into those norms that have always been there. But again, the social norms are wanting to change at this time as well, because you can't shift out of what you've been if you keep playing the role that those norms have given you. Everything has to shift and change at this time. And that is why you are seeing so much coming to the surface. That is why you are seeing this movement of Black Lives Matter. Because all lives matter, and you've not lived with that. You've lived with this duality of literally black and white in this case. And so we want you to know that so much of who you were is wanting to fall away, and it's up to you whether you will allow that or not. So even having the intention, saying to your higher self, to your soul, I intend to be in the flow of who I am becoming. I am ready to listen and allow the inner awareness to direct my life in every moment, so that I am navigating this earth in a way that is true and authentic to me, to awaken the new potential of who I am becoming, and therefore all life is becoming, because you are part of that whole. And know that when you live this way, it is going to challenge other people. And they may see it as you have gone awry, or they may see it as an invitation for them to explore what that means and discover something within themselves. That is up to them, dear ones. Your way is to be confident in your connection to your inner awareness, so that as you move forward in this way, you can know that you're not harming others when you shift and change in the way that is best for you. And we would say that when you come back to a place of love, when you come to a place of inner knowing and inner awareness, there is nothing left that would want to create harm in others. So if you see anywhere within yourself that you hold resentment or grudges or judgment of others, then there is more internal work to do before you come into this flow, because it is important that you are coming from a place of love as you navigate life in this way. And at the same time, we would say that that awareness of coming from a state of love also continues as you make these shifts and changes, because as you shift and grow and something changes within you, then it's a matter of learning if this new way of being is different from who you have been. It's a matter of learning, is this coming from love? Even though this is different from who I have been, and perhaps compared to who I have been, it feels a bit strong. Is this still coming from love? This is the bottom line, beloveds, always to be coming from a state of love. And if you act in a way that you realize later is unloving, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for being on this path of learning and becoming, and therefore having to navigate life in a different way. And if there is a shift that has come up for you and you feel yourself behaving in a new way, there is a matter of learning to find the balance again of who you are in that manner of being, who you are in your full awakening, and still able to move forward in a way that is totally shifted and loving and kind. And so, beloveds, we will leave it here, that this is the invitation now in these new times. This is the invitation to become everything that is awaiting to awaken within you, to allow it to flow through you, to allow yourself to be different, to allow the old you to fall away, and therefore the old world to fall away. And the more of you who step into this brilliance of who you are, this magnificence that is wanting to awaken at this time, the sooner you will see the old world crumble, because you are assisting in the dissolving of that old world as you step into your own magnificence, each one of you, one at a time, as a collective in the whole of humanity. And so we are deeply honored to have had this opportunity to come before you this day, to speak these words of guidance. And we invite you to use your own discernment always in any information that comes to you, to ensure that it resonates with you, that it feels like your own truth. For beloveds, part of being empowered is knowing, nope, this doesn't feel right to me, and so you let it go. That awakens me and makes my cells vibrate, so I know it's a message for me. Come to know your own level of discernment. There is no need to judge another. The need is to know within your own heart what is true for you, and simply let anything other than that fall away. And so again, we leave you with great love, and we remind you to call upon us, your guides, those who are supporting you and encourage you in your life, to be present with you as you navigate these ever-changing times of a new earth awakening, while the old world is crumbling beneath your feet. It is a challenging time to be here, and yet you are here because you are the masters who know how to navigate these times. And so it is. And so it is. And my deep thanks to the Elohim for sharing this beautiful message with us. And now to bring through the language of light, to anchor this in, to sing a song for the solstice that will allow each one of us to fully anchor in and live in that manner of being that the Elohim have invited in, and the new awakening that these eclipses of 2020 are inviting us into. So, here we go. Imananai o idadada imananai no ena mi ananai nai nananoi. Iata kikanatata ikanatata ilala 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 nanani nanani nananoi. Imananano edadadai nananana chikanai kamanai kamanono nananai nananai o inanana wana. Umanai nanai nanana wana. O much ki e alawa e each kanai o tik tik what. Imananai o enai manananai nai no e di 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 do 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 di 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 do 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 each kwa ikla each kana atwa e kana mataka ki each kana atwa e iki itaka u each kana atwa e kana achika ia na nikna atwa e each kana atwa e ti Huntaktawa hi achkana atma a. Nyakna ikna achwa e ikna ichkana o iti. Ichkana atwa e itla ichkano taka a. Amakalawa e ichkano ichkana atwa e ikanai. Tiktaka atwa ichkanai o tiktaka alawa e I. Imachika atwa I ichkana o ichakna I maktaka. Atlawa achkana I makta tikachwa ikana. Uchikataktawa I ichkana. Makalawa hakana na. Hachka I akna a mikatawa e ikana. Makoa takakwa a I chikana ya to tikatawa I kana makachawa I ana. Malawa a ala alawa e kana. Nika chai. Nika chai. Nika chai. So my thanks to the ancient ones. Bringing this through, I'm just feeling the energy of that last piece that went into our third eye. Each one of us ever listening to this, I'm feeling it going within my body. It's moving from the third eye down into the heart. And that's where it wants to rest. I'm just realizing that's so beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, they were opening us up in the beginning as they do. And then at the end, when it got a little stronger, the ancient ones were saying to us, like, really, if we want to be who we've come to be in these times, if we really want to awaken this new earth of ascension, it's time to let go of the old programs that hold us back. They're saying it's okay to let go of perhaps a former community because a new community is going to come to you. It's really time for us to get really strong. This was part of that message. Know who you are and allow yourself to truly be that. We've lived our lives, especially people my age who were born into a denser time, a denser frequency. We've lived our lives doing everything we needed to do to fit in order to survive. You have to survive. You have, especially when you're younger, you have to be part of that tribe. Your very survival depends on it. And so you have to become who those around you try to mold you into so that you can fit in and survive. And they're saying it's time for us to let go of all of that. Whoever we had to become that is not authentic to who we are, it's time to let go of that and really find out who is your authentic self. Dare to be different. Dare to be judged, you could say. Dare for people to say, oh my goodness, she's changed so much. I don't even know who she is. I think we're losing her. Dare to do that when you know that it's the full expression of you that's coming alive, and people aren't used to it. People haven't seen very much of it. And so for those who are on the beginning of this and stepping into that truth for themselves, there's going to be some relationships maybe that will shift and change because of that, but they're letting us know that the family who is ready to step into that is going to find us, and our family is always there. Those who truly loved us will always love us regardless of who we are and regardless of whether it challenges them and who they are. That love will always be there. And as long as we hold love for those who don't understand who we are anymore, or find it difficult to be in our presence for whatever reason, as long as we continue to love them and accept them for who they are, we are continuing this frequency of allowing ourselves to be the truth of who we are. So I will leave it there. Dear friends, thank you as always for being present. I invite you to subscribe and like to support this channel. I really appreciate all who do that, and also who comment and share. That really inspires me to bring more of these messages forward. And I'm going to be moving soon, so my videos may be a little sporadic in that process, but I'll do what I can to pop in and share these beautiful, blessed messages from the Elohim and those who speak through me, and this beautiful light language. Okay, so much love. Happy solstice, everyone.